Yeah, recording.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Zakaria Sulong, High Commissioner to United Kingdom, dear Malaysians, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian. Pertamanya, saya ingin mengucap ribuan terima kasih. Can you please stop it? Can you stop it, please? I know, but can you stop it? You can meet with me later, okay? Please, can you stop it? No, okay. All right. No, you wait for me. No, you can talk with me later, okay? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Zakaria Sulong, Malaysian High Commissioner to the UK, seterusnya tuan-tuan dan puan-puan rakyat Malaysia, termasuk pelajar-pelajar yang dikasihi sekalian. Pertama-tamanya izinkan saya mengucap terima kasih kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, saudara-saudari sekalian kerana telah sudi menerima jemputan untuk bersama-sama di majlis sepetang bersama rakyat. First of all, let me express my appreciation and gratitude to all Malaysians who have taken the trouble to be at this function, an evening with the Prime Minister. I would also like to thank Datuk Seri Zakaria Sulong, our High Commissioner to the UK, for taking the initiative to organize this gathering, giving me an opportunity to meet with fellow Malaysians in a very relaxed and informal manner. And he even told me that I should take off my suit and my tie and wear something very, very casual. And you can see I'm very, very casual now. I look like all of you here. I know it takes a big effort for you to come here because it took me 1 hour and about 1 hour 20 minutes to be here through the London traffic. So thank you very much for taking all the trouble to attend this function. As Datuk Zakaria Sulong mentioned, it is a normal practice for me and fellow members of the government, including for the Yang Pertuan Agong, whenever we are abroad, to take the opportunity to meet with Malaysians who are either working abroad or studying abroad or part of the Malaysian diaspora, so that we will have the opportunity to get connected with them and to mingle and interact with them and to convey to them some of the latest developments in Malaysia. So today is no exception. This is not the first program that I've done with the Malaysian community in UK. In fact, I've attended many such functions in the past. Fellow Malaysians, as you know, we are facing many challenges as a nation, not the least with respect to the global economic uncertainty that is unfolding, particularly with respect to Europe. Even though Malaysia is somewhat spared from the effect of the global uncertainty, because we are in the most dynamic part of the world. We are part of ASEAN, we are part of East Asia, and most of our trade is within ASEAN and with East Asia. Nonetheless, if the situation in Europe creates a downturn in the global economy, then the effects will be felt in Malaysia. As a government, we're doing our level best to transform Malaysia to become a fully developed nation by the year 2020. And that is through the new economic model, the economic transformation program, the government transformation program, and also the political transformation program. This is, in fact, a very important juncture in our history, because this is the first time that we are embarking on a massive wholesale transformation of Malaysia, not only in economic terms, but also in social and political terms. And of course, the overriding philosophy that is guiding Malaysia and guiding the Malaysian government is based on the philosophy of One Malaysia, people first and performance now. We believe with the concept of One Malaysia that we become more inclusive and that we can ensure social justice, as well at the same time we can make sure that each and every Malaysian will rise to his or her maximum potential as an individual under the Malaysian sun. I'm so delighted that when I stand here and I look at the faces in front of me, although the light is rather dim, but I can see a microcosm. A microcosm. Now I can see better now. I can see a microcosm of One Malaysia right here in this hall. And I think that's a wonderful microcosm, a wonderful cross-section of what Malaysia is all about. And Malaysia is a country that is very complex and very challenging because by nature it is so diverse. Just look at the faces in this hall. You know, in Semenanjung, we have so many ethnic groups. Sabah and Sarawak, we have even more. Lots of things can go wrong with our country. Since we attained independence, very few people gave us the chance or gave us the sense that we could survive as a nation, let alone become successful, but survive as a nation. Well, my wife has just arrived.
Don't care.
With the High Commissioner's wife. Yeah. She's also very informal.
You don't care.
So, as a nation, we have moved on since independence. We have achieved much as a nation. We have traveled a path from being an unknown, relatively unknown country, agro-based, rather poor nation, but today we've become a middle-income country. We've got some of the best infrastructure in Malaysia, but there's still more challenges for us that we need to overcome, because we know that if we do not become more creative in our policies, especially if we do not come up with a new set of strategies, then we're not likely to become a fully developed nation. That is why we decided that we should embark on a new economic model, because a new economic model is about ensuring that we have a new set of strategies to achieve the status of a fully developed nation by the year 2020. We can do it. I believe we can do it. And I believe that as Malaysians, we are all committed towards this journey of becoming a fully developed nation by the year 2020. And I hope all of you will join me in this journey, because the train has left the station. And I want all Malaysians to be on board this train, so that when all Malaysians are on board this train, we have every reason and every chance to achieve our goal of becoming a fully developed nation by the year 2020. And we're doing this because we're doing it for you, all of you. And we'd like to see Malaysia being transformed by widening the opportunities. I was very impressed with a singer from Lim Kok Wing Institute, Nazrina. She sang with a lot of confidence. She sang with a lot of passion the One Malaysia song. But you know that she is a second generation son of a Felda settler. She comes from an area called near Tasik Cheni in Pahang, in Pekan, my constituency, by coincidence. But without opportunities that we create, people like Nazrina will probably end up becoming a second generation Felda settler, not better than their parents. But when I ask you, when I look around this room, most of you are potential to be even better than the earlier generation, i.e. your parents. You are here studying with the opportunity to become someone highly qualified in the near future. And that is why we have to create more and more opportunities. We are fine-tuning our policies and make changes wherever we go along. I've always said from day one that the era the government knows best is over. We need to listen to the people. And this is what the government is doing. We listen to the people. For example, for the first time in our history, any student who receives or achieves 9A+ for SPM will be given a bursary and later on a scholarship to attend a top university overseas as well as in the country. That is quite a dramatic change in our policies, because we recognize the moment you achieve 9A+, no matter who you are, which ethnic group you belong to, automatically you're given a bursary to finish your A-level or IB, and then if you obtain a place at the top university overseas, and if you choose to be, or if you choose to be in a country, then you will be given a government scholarship. That is a remarkable change in our government policy. But at the same time, we're not forgetting as well, we need to achieve social justice in this country for Malaysians. Therefore, if you come from a very rural area, for example, there is a kampung in Pahang, up the tributary of the Pahang River, called Kampung Bantal in Ulu Jerantut. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with Jerantut, Pahang, but it's a place called Kampung Bantal. And if you come from Kampung Bantal, to reach Kampung Bantal, you have to use a small boat, and the journey is so far that when you get there, you're very tired. They give you a bantal and you sleep straight away. And I think that is the genesis of the name Kampung Bantal. And there's another kampung called Kampung Pagi, which means that the next morning you only reach that kampung. So it's called Kampung Pagi. And in Sarawak, and this is my favorite long house, it's called Ulu Lachau. I have to pronounce it very carefully. Because if I mispronounce it, it means something else. So this long house called Ulu Lachau. You imagine if you're from Kampung Bantal, or if you are an Iban from that long house, Ulu Lachau, you probably will not have the same environment and opportunities as somebody from, say, Kenny Hills or Damansara Heights. So we do need to make some adjustment in our policies so that whilst you reward people who achieve excellence on merit, you also create opportunities for investment for those who are somewhat handicapped because they come from poorer families, from the rural areas, which obviously will not have the same facilities as the very, very more prosperous urban areas. So by having this, marrying these two principles, we believe that we can create a fairer and more equitable society. And the government, as a government, we try to be as progressive as possible so that we will make sure that Malaysia becomes a country that is in line with some of the best practices worldwide. For example, with respect to human rights, we have abolished several security laws which are no longer applicable or relevant in today's context. For example, the Restricted Residence Act, the Emergency Ordinance, the Printing Press, and of course, even the Internal Security Act has been abolished. That, ladies and gentlemen, takes a lot of doing, a lot of courage for us, because what we're saying is that we are essentially giving away all those powers. As a government, we're not crazy about powers. As a government, we want to be a government that represents the feelings of the people of Malaysia. As a government, we want to engage with the people of Malaysia, and we want to do what is best for the people of Malaysia. And that is my commitment as your Prime Minister. And I want to ensure peace and harmony in Malaysia. Whether you are part of the government or the opposition, you have rights. You have a right as a member of the government or supporting the government. You have a right as well if you are supporting the opposition. But whether you're a member of the government or supporting the government or opposition, you must operate within the bounds of the rule of law. If you discard the rule of law, there will be anarchy in this country. So we cannot afford anarchy. We can allow dissent. You know, I can appreciate differences of opinions and views, but I will not respect if you break the laws in the country. And that is the only safeguard we have for the future of Malaysia. You can present your views. I mean, okay, you want to talk about voting or you want to talk about this, yes. I'll be mingling with the crowd after this. Talk to me in a very civilized manner. Do not heckle in the crowd. That is very un-Malaysian. Very, very un-Malaysian. You're in fact being very rude. We don't teach these values in Malaysia. I am proud of all Malaysians who are law-abiding and they are respectful to others. And that is why you must speak up for those who abuse their position. You are a minority. Don't impose your views onto the majority. Majority in this hall are peace-loving, respectful of others, aren't you?
Yes.
You are. That's why you're here. You give me the space, you give me respect as your Prime Minister, because I'm the legitimate leader of the country. But when the time comes, election time, we'll fight it out. If you don't like me, don't vote for me. But I hope you do like me. Please vote for me. So that's the way it should be. I mean, that is a matured democracy. That's a functioning democracy. You know, in any democracy, you will have people who will vote for you, who will not vote for you. It doesn't matter. As long as at the end of the day, what matters is the choice of the people. And the people of Malaysia will have their choice. We have proven you don't need to have street demonstrations in Malaysia. Because if you have street demonstrations, inevitably there will be trouble. There will be clashes. I mean, what is the point of attacking a policeman? Because a policeman is a human being. A policeman is a person. He has parents, he has children, he has rights as a policeman. So why do you attack a policeman? Why do you overturn a policeman's car? Why can't you demonstrate peacefully? We showed 100,000 people gathered in a stadium and we did it peacefully. And that is the right way. And if Bersih wants to meet, we can give them the same stadium. You can have the same meeting. We will ensure peace and security. Nobody will be harmed. And that is the right way for us as a nation that's matured. And we believe in a democracy, but a democracy with responsibility. You can have individual freedom, but you shouldn't impinge against the interests of the majority. So I hope I've made my message clear to all of you. I believe that the way ahead for us is to believe, to behave sensibly, abide by the law. When the time comes, you will have a chance to decide as Malaysians. So I thank you once again for your presence, and I hope we'll have the opportunity to mingle around, and then hopefully that you will give me an opportunity to meet with you again in the future on my visits to the UK. It's getting rarer and rarer now because I'm so busy at home. But as the High Commissioner said, I've been invited by Prince Charles to be part of his set of international advisory panel. And that's the reason why I'm here, to meet with him and to meet with other members of the international panel. It is a recognition of Malaysia's role. We have to play our part internationally so that Malaysia will be recognized as a nation. And as you know, in the 21st century, it is a contestation of ideas. We must show that we have better ideas. We must show that we have better agenda. We must show that we have better policies that will ultimately decide and determine whether we will be successful as a nation. So I thank you once again for your presence, and hopefully we will have a chance to meet again. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.